stopping in the middle of a colossally poop performance.
I mean, poop is an understatement. That was like when you have food poisoning and it's coming out of both ends.
And you're just sitting there waiting for it to stop. It's kind of how I feel watching the game right now. We're just kind of waiting for it to stop and to be over. 27-6. Part of me is not surprised. I kind of thought the Lions might blow them out. I know Junes was talking about it on the Musers all week. He thought that they were going to get rolled this week. I think most of us kind of felt that the Lions would win, but man, this is now 4 straight games if you go back to the Packers playoff game where they're getting their ass kicked at home. It's not even competitive.
Yeah, there was a point there early in the second where they had the opportunity to get a stop, and they had the opportunity to keep it to a 2-score game and maybe go down and cut it to a field goal, and they couldn't get that stop. And outside of having to take a knee after the Cowboys' final field goal, the Lions score on every possession. They go touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. And probably the most embarrassing of them was the reverse flea flicker to Laporta.
Yep, that was nice.
But overall, I mean, the defense just looks lost, and the offense, they can't stay on the field. They 3 and out. They're in the second quarter, and then they can't convert on that 4th down deep in their own territory. And that's basically a gimme touchdown for the Lions.
Yeah, and you look at him, Dak had that horrible interception in the end zone. Again, they turned the ball over in the end zone too many times. Defensively, you're missing what? 4 of your top guys, and you look at that, it's going to catch up to you eventually. I think that we all kind of thought, man, this Lions defense or offense is not the team that you want to have these injuries against. That doesn't excuse the offense. There's nothing wrong with the offense.
No, you're healthy on the
horrible.
Offense. You chose to start TJ Bass instead of Guyton today.
Yeah, they did that, and you could make a case that might actually make the offensive line better. They're force-feeding Zeke. I don't recall seeing Dowdle take himself out. I saw that somebody said that they thought he did, but he's been in there.
Yeah,
They're just not using him.
Dowdle only 2 carries, 6 yards. Zeke 5 carries for 6 yards.
It's horrible. This is at best, an average team, and they've gotten their wins this year beating other average or below average teams, and when they play somebody good, this is the 3rd time that we've seen them play a quality team. They're getting their ass kicked yet again.
Yeah, you look at the total rushing for the first half, 92 for the Lions, only 14 for the Cowboys, and you reference the red zone mistakes.
Yeah.
Cowboys 0-2 in the red zone, Lions 2 for 2, and one of those 0 for 2 for the Cowboys was that horrendous pick that he just floated to the back of the end zone thinking that it was an easy catch for CD.
Right.
And the DB peels off the route in the flat and makes the catch.
Yeah, this is just I would say a nightmare game, but I think a lot of us thought
it's a recurring
the Lions would
nightmare.
win. Yeah, it's nonstop. Every week.
Same. It's the same as
Pathetic.
Every home game.
It is. It's inexcusable.
Dating back to the Packer game last year, and Joe gave us the note. In the last 4 home games at the half, the Cowboys have been outscored 110-32.
That's amazing.
Oh, 110 to 35.
Okay.
Sorry,
35,
yes. I forgot to add the field goal.
You look at it, and it's so inexcusable when you see an offense like Detroit, and time again, their guys are wide open.
Yeah.
Jared Goff has not had to make a tough, tight throw all game. And you see the Cowboys, every single time they throw the ball, Dak's thrown into the tightest windows there are. No separation. You can't run the ball. This is a not good football team.
No, not good. And speaking of the Detroit receivers running free, we've seen several times Trayvon Diggs making business decisions.
Yes.
He's either giving way too big a cushion and almost gave up that easy touchdown that ended up being down at the 1-inch line. And then the run by Montgomery along the sidelines where he basically just tagged him on the back.
He just kind of goes down and is like, oh, please don't run over me. And he just goes right around him. It's a really, really ugly football team. And honestly, I don't know if having DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons would make that drastic of a difference. I still think the Lions would have guys running wide open. Maybe you'd get a little bit more pressure because what do they have? The 1 sack. But other than that, they've barely gotten any pressure on Goff. They blitzed a couple of times and didn't do anything. Goff's just standing there with all day to throw. Maybe that would change if they were healthy, but I don't know the answer for the offense. Because the offense, regardless of the injuries, the offense looks horrible. Putrid. They cannot move the ball with any consistency. It almost feels borderline miraculous whenever they're able to do something. And then you, again, see a team like Detroit who can throw it wherever they want, move the ball down the field however they want. They already have 3 runs of over 10 yards in the first half. The Cowboys can't do that. It's amazing to watch this team play how bad the offense is.
Yeah, Dak, 20 passes. He's 11 for 20 for 115, the 1 INT, 2 sacks. The Cowboys only the 1 sack on Goff that was on that third down that forced them to attempt a field goal. But yeah, Goff 11 for 16 for 178. They're not getting home. And yes, if they did have their full complement on defense, maybe they would have more pressure on Goff. But it's not like he's standing back there patting the ball. He's getting it out fast. They have plenty of options crossing the middle. They have the flares out to the flat to Laporta or to Montgomery or to Gibbs. They have so many options, and it does look so much easier for them than it does for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I think that just honestly, that's got to go to scheme and to play calling.
Yeah, the Cowboys are not scheming their guys open. And, of course, you can't run, which doesn't help your pass game at all. It's just a really bland, vanilla offense that is not effective. And when you have a quarterback that turns it over, when you have opportunities in the red zone, it's a gross-looking offense. They have one guy that makes plays, and that's CeeDee Lamb, and they struggle to figure out ways to get him the ball in space.
And the one big play is the 78-yard kick return by Turpin that they immediately get sacked.
Right, and it's 3rd and 19 all of a sudden.
And they have to settle for another field goal.
It's
now
incredible.
it does cut it to a 3-score game, and the Cowboys
there you go.
The Cowboys have at least especially in the Baltimore game, they were able to regroup coming out of half, and they were able to close the gap and at least make it competitive and at least give themselves an opportunity to compete for taking the lead in the fourth. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen here because I think the Lions are going to stay on the gas because it seems like Dan Campbell's really taking this personally.
Yeah, Lions get the ball to start second half. I honestly assume it'll be 34-6 here in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Donnie and I will have the postgame show for you. It is online only, so right here, if you're watching the halftime show, Donnie and I will be back right after the game. We'll do an hour postgame.